This is the story of a different kind of school, a school where the children and the teachers really enjoy thinking. They think with their minds and their bodies. They think about real problems, problems that have significance for them. They might think about how to make different geometric shapes with rubber bands, about the mysteries of number and sequence, about how to get to the top of a tough, sheer, slippery cliff, about how to build a robot out of blocks, and where to put the chickens, which the robot loves so much, or about how best to lay out a spring vegetable garden in the art teacher's backyard. They might think about how to put the finishing touches on a story about horses, or on an essay on war and violence. They might think about how to find their way through the southern Illinois hills to locate their camp for the night. They love thinking, and it's usually a kind of genuine thinking that isn't often encouraged in school. It's the kind of personal, total thinking that means genuine growth, and lots of times, genuine happiness. All of these children are students at the College School, an elementary school in Webster Groves, affiliated with Webster College, and situated directly on the college campus. As you enter the school, you pass under an aluminum foil gateway arch constructed by the upper primary students, and into an educational atmosphere that always seems comfortable and colorful. Perhaps the children enjoy this school so much partly because the classrooms always look so exciting, so full of little nooks and displays and activities to be studied and explored. The classrooms at the college school are made for children, children who need space to move and be happy in, children who love color and good sturdy desks for studying and soft carpets for curling up with a book. Children who enjoy sitting and investigating a topic with their friends and painting big, bright murals on the walls. And children who love seashells and snakes and hamsters. And the atmosphere of the college school reflects the feelings of the people who staff it. Dr. Peter Wilson brings a solid background in teaching to his work as director of the school, and day in and day out, he shares with children and teachers alike his real understanding of the joys and struggles of teaching and learning. The teachers are the kind of informal, genuine people that make for an informal, genuine school. They are learning and growing just as the children are. They work in teams, and they share and build together. They have interests and hobbies and dreams of their own, which they are not afraid to share with each other and with their students. They are mature adults, and yet they have enough of the child in them to know how children feel and what they want and need. The teachers take their teaching seriously. They know that good teaching comes from good planning. They like what they teach, and they teach with honesty and enthusiasm. The college school is an integral part of the nationally known teacher education program at Webster College. A large number of students in the School of Education spend significant amounts of time in the college school. They bring a wide variety of skills and interests to their work with the children, and the children benefit greatly from having the attention of these sensitive and energetic teachers of the future. In addition, many of the instructors at the college have close relationships with the school, and are involved in a continuing educational dialogue with college school teachers. For example, Dr. Linda Wells, a professor in the college's child study program, has frequently conferred with the teachers about various problems and possibilities in teaching. And perhaps most importantly, many of the classroom teachers at the college school also teach full semester classes in both the undergraduate and graduate programs at the college. One of our upper-level teachers, for example, spends his days helping children find the joy and pleasure of writing, and then in the evening teaches a creative writing class at the college. The teachers at the college school, then, teach children and adults. In this way, they are lucky enough to keep in touch with the sophistication of the adult world, as well as with the gaiety and charm of childhood. And it all makes for an unusually rich and varied community of learning here at the college school. Children, students of teaching, master teachers, and teachers of teachers, all working and thinking together, all helping each other grow. The growth that takes place at the college school is a growth of the whole child. An important part of this growth, obviously, is that which derives from the continuous, concentrated practice in the separate academic skills. For example, students begin mastering the language skills in the kindergarten and lower primary level, and this development is watched carefully and supervised systematically throughout the grades. In the lower primary, the students are encouraged to begin developing their own reading and writing vocabulary from their own personal life experiences. They begin then, with the help and encouragement of the teacher, to create small stories and poems, choosing their own subjects and titles, and illustrating them in their own style. By the age of 7 or 8, in the upper primary rooms, they are writing longer pieces and are beginning to collect them and bind them into little books of personal writings. And finally, in the upper level, they really expand and begin to explore new and more mature forms of writing. They might work together to write and illustrate a book of fantasy stories. They might put together collections of their own short fiction pieces. Or they might work most of a morning writing and proofreading a personal essay on some topic that is important in their young lives. And this same kind of individual, carefully supervised development takes place in the other subject areas. In math, where the children take apart the mysteries of fractions by using Cuisenaire rods and hand calculators. In science, where they work with materials more than with workbooks, where they experiment and test things out, where they rearrange things and then observe, where they examine and study and try again. It happens in social studies, where the big world comes close to them, where St. Louis comes alive on a huge floor map, where learning is shared and discovery is carried on among friends. In music, where song and melody flower in a relaxed, informal atmosphere. In physical education, where children work and shout as they jump. And in art, where all the good feelings and color and excitement in the school come together, and where a child can be alone with his own vision. But there's another kind of learning that continually happens at the college school, and it's a kind of learning that perhaps makes the school a unique institution in its field. It's a kind of whole integrated learning. The teachers see their students not just as minds ready to be trained, but as whole growing persons with bodies that need space to move in and feelings that need to be expressed. The teachers know that a child grows as much when he's trying to be a clown on stilts as he does when he's working at a desk. The children at the college school learn with their muscles and their faces as much as with their minds. They are whole together children, hands and minds and hearts working together to build something beautiful for the world. They love to laugh with their teachers because they just seem to understand that learning and laughter are natural friends. And so at the same time as the separate skill development is going on, those separate skills are constantly being exercised and refined in all sorts of open-ended, interdisciplinary learning experiences. Not long ago, for example, the upper-level children studied the trees on the campus and laid out a nature trail among some of the prettiest trees, and then wrote, illustrated, and printed a guide booklet for the trail. The older children have made frequent use of the computer terminal at the college and are now beginning to learn to make their own computer programs in social studies and math. One small group of college school students became intimate friends with one city block. They spent many a chilly November day sketching buildings, measuring and recording distances and heights, and interviewing store and hotel owners. And then they came back to school and got to work on an exact cardboard replica of the city block they had studied. They shared ideas and talents, refined their buildings with tiny windows and doors and trimmings, and finally put on display a dazzling model city block, a model that was good enough to warrant a picture story in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And one of the happiest examples of the kind of whole integrated learning that is always occurring at the college school is the Spring Vegetable Garden Adventure, which has now become an annual project among the upper-level children. The students cross over all the traditional school subject boundaries as they plan and build their garden. Math becomes personal and exciting when you're marking off a carefully pre-planned garden plot. Science is pure excitement when you're examining your own onion seedling and drawing a picture of it in your own garden book. Art becomes something more than just a school subject when you're carefully sketching your own bean plant or sitting among your onions, drawing and dreaming. And writing means deep concentration when you're making the cover of your radish book, and when you know that all these words you write are going to be bound beautifully in individual books that a bookstore would be proud to display. And who wouldn't enjoy going to school if it meant things like designing and silk screening your own radish or spinach t-shirt? And who wouldn't enjoy learning if the byproduct of your learning was a feast of your own homegrown and harvested vegetables? A feast that none of these children will forget for a long time. Learning in this kind of very interrelated and very personal way becomes a vital part of the student's own life. The students explore the world not only as it conveniently breaks down into school subjects, but as it presents itself to them directly in their young lives, a whole mysterious, shining world. The students truly feel and think. They explore, try things out. They wonder and dream and grow. Perhaps one of the most unusual aspects of the college school is that the teachers not only like to teach, they also like to learn. A few of the teachers got together several years ago and, using their own love of the outdoors as a starting point, began developing a style of education that has now gained national prominence, the College School Adventure Education Program. It makes learning what the title says, an adventure of risk, discovery, and challenge. College school students have climbed Missouri bluffs, testing their strength and ingenuity against slick, steep cliffs, wedging themselves up through tight places, and then rappelling down the sides of hills and cliffs with a safety rope and a little courage thrown in. And when it's over, they know that they have changed. They know that they've experienced a very special kind of learning. The children have used compasses to get through a thick spring forest. They've canoed on lakes in southern Illinois, talked about the best trail to take, and built their own fires after many a tiring day. And they've been amateur archaeologists, too. They dug up the remains of a cow, transported the entire skeleton back to school, and pieced it all together, studying anatomy and physiology as they worked. The result was a museum piece that is constantly used in the school as a tool of learning for children of all ages. There's another part of the teaching-learning team at the college school, and it's an important part: the parents. Parents at the college school do not have to be simply passive spectators. They are invited to take as large a role as they want to in the daily life of the child at school. The director of the school and all the teachers consider parents to be a vital part of the school program, and the children are the beneficiaries. Many parents are helping regularly with the school's swimming program at the YMCA, and many parents are eager to share their professional expertise with the children. It is a rare school indeed, where a parent can spend a morning with her child and his friends in an atmosphere as comfortable as home, in a setting where learning is as natural as eating with your mom. The college school, then, is somewhat like a family, and it's a varied and diverse family. There are students here from 15 different school districts, and the staff is proud of the fact that scholarship money now goes out to 20% of the students, thus ensuring a wide-ranging and diverse student body. The college school is not a closed society of people who think and live the same way. It is a living community of children and adults of all types and talents, and it is precisely that which enables the children to blossom and grow. They laugh and share together, and they even dance together. They sing and live as a community of learners. But what about our graduates, like Heather Schultz of the class of '76? Perhaps the true measure of any school is how well the students carry over what they learn into the years ahead. How much have their whole lives been affected by what they have learned at school? Have they really grown? And perhaps most importantly, do they continue to learn and grow after they leave the college school? We are proud to say that our graduates, like Larry Miyasaka, now at Crossroads School, measure up exceptionally well in these categories. Arthur Lieber, director of Crossroads, says that in comparison with public school graduates, children from the college school come with wider interests and more self-reliance. He says they are simply more willing to try new things and seem to be better in all kinds of ways at the important everyday job of getting along with other people. Graduates like Tim Knock, now at Webster Groves High School, have proven year after year that the college school provides an excellent preparation for the junior high and senior high years. And a follow-up research study of our graduates provides solid evidence of this. Each year, we send a questionnaire to our former students, their parents, and their present junior high teachers. The results show that year after year, both in private and in public schools, our graduates become integral, hard-working, and very often honor-winning members of their classes. And it is not at all surprising, for at the college school, they learned how to really think. They learned that the world is there to be explored and questioned and loved. They learned that growing means taking a risk and trying something new. And they learned that the only person who can do your living for you is you.